You're now watching The Wash Daily. Today news, MG Retailer magazine put out a story talking about how it's really difficult to reach folks these days in the cannabis industry. One of the big problems is the venues people would typically be using to reach an audience, Facebook and social media. Now, these social media outlets aren't allowing cannabis companies to advertise with them or to market their products on them. And now with the COVID-19, there isn't any way to reach people if you don't know who they are or have their email or some form of contact. So it's making it very challenging for these companies who are trying to be in the cannabis industry and market their products to find their audience to market to. Necessity is the mother of invention, and I'm sure the smart people behind cannabis will figure it out. Also in news, the cannabis law publication Harris Blicken, they put out a report today about how the sports industry is being affected by the cannabis. In football, baseball, basketball, and hockey, there's been a lot of changes with how the leagues view cannabis. At one time, players might be kicked out of the league if they tested positive for cannabis. Even players who live in states that have legal cannabis available. The NBA is taking the hardest stance on cannabis. Their players are tested 4 times a year, and they're not warned away. And if they find out they're using cannabis or they have cannabis in their blood, they're fined heavily. It can lead to even a suspension, or they could get fired. With baseball and hockey, both do not prohibit cannabis use by their players. The NFL has been changing its policy. Now they do not prohibit players from using cannabis except for during training where they may be tested. Now all this is so much for the people who are using cannabis to get high, like beer. It's that so many players need cannabis treatment for the pain they go through. This professional sports industry does a number on people's bodies, and cannabis certainly helps with pain management and keeping people off of opioids. With Olympians who are known cannabis users winning their gold medals, it's hard to say that one cannot be an athlete and use cannabis. And a lot of athletes use cannabis as part of their training because it helps their body to heal quicker than using traditional medicines like Tylenol or Tiger Balm. Also in news, Hemp Industry Daily interviews Coleman Hemphill. Coleman Hemphill is the president of the Texas Hemp Industries Association. Hemp Industry Daily recently put out a report, and he talked about what the industry is looking at. Well, the 0.3 number is very difficult, but there's companies who will guarantee that you can have hemp that'll fall below the 0.3% THC required to move forward in the hemp industry with your plant. There's a lot of talk about the fiber, and there's a lot of companies looking for the hemp fiber to make textiles and clothing. There's also a huge interest, obviously, in the hemp seeds. They're packed full of fiber and omegas and amino acids, and also the construction industry is really excited about hempcrete, which is a concrete made of hemp and lime mixed with water. It's very good for the environment. It reduces the amount of chemicals in new homes. Also, by growing plants to make hempcrete with, we're reducing the CO2 in the atmosphere, which is great news. Also, hemp repairs the soil it's planted in, leaving the soil in better condition than the state it was found in. Thanks for watching The Wash Daily.